Hi again, and welcome to the second edition of the Trazzle Dazzle podcast. We'll try to do better this time. Right, we are joined today by Mr. Classic himself. Classic Richie, or is it Richie Classic?
Richie Classic.
Richie Classic.
Yeah.
And where did you grow up, sir?
I grew up in New Jersey, in Newark, New Jersey.
Okay. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Well, so my mom went into labor with me, driving down Highway 78 in New Jersey, and delivered me in a place called Somerset, New Jersey, which is Somerset County. And when I was born, I was in Manville, which is in Somerset County. Yeah, I'm a man from Manville. Fucking get that, fucking put that shit together. But yeah, so I grew up as a kid in Manville, New Jersey, and it's like a 2.2 square mile town, and it's in the Guinness Book of Records for more bars than churches. So
Hell of a record.
Yeah, hell of a record. Growing up there was pretty cool though, because my family is a pretty big family, and I don't know how to say this without being really blunt about it, but my family on my dad's side is an affiliated group of motorcycle riders. That my grandfather, 1%ers, that my grandfather joined when he came back from the war in '52. So it's been a lineage through my family being part of that 1%er club.
Yeah.
So I had a big family growing up there. My family was really well known in that little town, and when I was 18. I was inducted into this club.
For the 1%ers.
Into this 1%er club, and I followed the rules. My father was the secretary and treasurer of this club for 23 years, and
Wow, that's like one of the most dangerous gangs in the world.
well.
That's like but it's also a privilege.
Well, yeah, it's a privilege because a lot of people look at the bad side of it.
But
and,
they do good things.
Yeah,
they're not a bad gang. They stick up they stick up for people that do bad things.
Right.
Yeah.
Morals and principles, right?
Yeah.
That's a good way of putting it.
They stop
You see,
bad people.
like when my father passed away from cancer, we'll get into that a little bit later, but when my father passed away from cancer, they did a cancer run, and there was 1,500 bikes in my father's procession when he passed away. 1,500 bikes, and my father was buried with his gas tank of his Harley.
Wow.
Yeah.
I believe that. Running into them is like I know my mom is like fascinated with it. Like that's incredible. Wow. That's kind of cool just sitting next to you. Like
So
for real.
and it's like I don't look at it as I kind of don't talk about it a lot. Yeah, because
Thank you for sharing that.
There's things that I could say who I am and what I'm involved in to a certain degree, a certain extent.
Yeah.
But it's zip lip for a lot of it.
Yeah.
But moving past that, I grew up in this little town.
How was that like growing up?
Growing up was good. When I moved to Newark, New Jersey, I was picked on a lot, and because I was some white kid in school, and I got picked on a lot. So my dad put me in boxing lessons at
Young.
Yeah, I was young. I was coming home with black eyes and shit like that. I was 9 years old when my dad put me in boxing lessons at Mancini's gym in Newark, New Jersey. And I boxed for 10 years, but nobody fucked with me anymore after I got in that first fight. The kid tried stealing my shoes. And And I remember coming home, and I had a swollen eye, and my father said, "Get in the fucking truck," and he brought me to the kid's house that I had just gotten into a fight with, and he made the kid come outside, and he made me fight him again, because I had a black eye. My father was a really tough fucking dude, man. God rest his soul. He passed away from cancer in 2010. And the fucked up thing was, when I went to prison, I went to the same place my father had just come home from. So I went to the same prison, and you know, and the people there put their arms around me, and really showed me a lot of love. Yeah, because my father knew everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was like
family.
It was like family.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And
you live by code as well. Like that just
right.
Yeah,
Right.
Is.
And you know, so they put their arms around me when I went I went to jail. And you know, and my father, what happened with my father is my father was an addict like me. Okay. So just let me throw that in there. I'm first and foremost an addict. A savage addict. Okay. I'm clean now, thank God. But me and my father used together. You know, so it was that kind of relationship with me and my dad. We were always together. When I found out my dad had cancer, he got an early release from prison because they gave him 60 days to live.
Wow.
And what ended up happening is I spent every day with my father, and so I would take him to baseball games, football games. We'd go fishing, whatever he wanted to do, because I wanted my father to die happy. You know what I mean? Because they're only giving him 60 days, right? My father was a lot tougher than fucking 60 days. I'll put it that way. He made it 11 and a half months.
Wow.
And finally the cancer got up to his brain, and it really destroyed me. It really did, because you know.
Well, you had a front seat.
Yeah, and my father was my best friend, you know, and to lose somebody that close to you, it really rocks your world, you know. And
I lost my dad. I'm sorry, you guys are doing the thing.
And like, it's just you know, sometimes in life you lose certain people that are like really close to you, for you to gain more people or new people that can be close to you. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
You know, I lost my father, but in the same instance, I've grown to love somebody else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and I think it's just like it's the world, it's the energy of the world. You know, like the energy, how you put it, whatever you put out, you're gonna get. You know what I mean? So if I sit there and I sulk and I'm bullshit all day, you know what's gonna happen? All day is gonna be bullshit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, I like the fact that I have a different spectrum on life now. Like my reality is to try and be good to people, because I was bad to people.
We see that in you for sure.
I was very bad to people. I did a lot of things that I'm not proud of.
Those steely blue eyes look like they've seen some shit.
Yeah, they have. You know, without diving too far into it, yeah, they have. I was a dog on a leash. Was the way my father would, you know, describe it. And you know, just that lifestyle alone has brought me into some really dark places. You know? Here's a whole bunch of meth. Run this meth to, you know, so and so.
Yeah.
Well, I'm taking some of that meth and I'm banging it, you know. So I'm getting high on fucking methamphetamine. I'm getting high on what used to be heroin.
Was that after your father passed?
After my father passed, I went into a fucking super fucking depression, and I got locked up. And what happened was, so when I got locked up, I brought 3 bags of dope with me to get me through medical until I can get into the pod, my pod, and
Whoa, God, when it ran out, then what?
Yeah, well, I was luckily held down by people inside, you know.
Yeah.
But I ended up quitting while I was in there, and I came out of prison like 230 pounds. I was solid, man. It's the best shape of my life. And you know, shit happens again. You know, shit.
How old are you when you came out?
When I came out, so I was 28 when I went in. I was 33 when I came out. 33 and a half. And then I caught a trafficking charge from Harlem, New York, going into New Jersey. And I ended up doing another 2.5 years for that.
Like back to back?
No, I had about 9 months in between.
In between?
Yeah, I had 9 months of freedom. Woohoo! In between, but
Between 7 years of hard time.
yeah, well, even more than that because I got busted down here. Check my files, kids. Yeah, I got busted down here for manufacturing and distribution of fentanyl. Down here, I mean, where we are, ladies and gentlemen, we're in Florida.
Wow,
South
yeah,
Florida.
that's a serious charge for trafficking
South
and
Florida,
fentanyl.
South Florida, yeah. So they hit me with an 8-ball of fentanyl. I was set up. This girl told me that her brother wanted an 8-ball, and I had been dealing with this girl. You know, I've been selling so many drugs, and I had been dealing with this girl for a while, and like,
Yeah,
you know, it was
right.
cool. She was a good customer. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? She was paying my bills, and what ended up happening is she got busted, and she worked with the police.
Oh, you're collateral.
Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So, and she fucking got busted with 3 stones of
You
crack.
care about her?
Hell no.
She
Hell
was a
no.
customer.
Oh, she was a
was just
customer.
Look, put it this way. I don't even know if she's fish food. I don't know who she is anymore. I hope she is fish food.
She just needed to throw you under to get herself out.
Yeah,
So
for
you
3
just
stones
filed.
of crack, right? 3 stones of crack, she would have had a misdemeanor.
So there was something bigger going on. It wasn't even about the crack. They were just looking for something.
They were
else.
looking for me because they had me set up because they knew I was making the money. I was at Comfort Inn on Hypoluxo, for anybody that knows, down here in Florida. And I was at the Comfort Inn. I had my room, and then right next door I had another room for 2 girls that I paid to make money. You know what I mean? Like I would give them money, they would give me. They were making me money. I'm putting hoes in a hotel room back to back to make a stack. That type of shit.
Women of the night.
Women of the night, yes.
Yeah.
And so when I got busted, they hit the room. They took like it was like $67,000 that I had in the safe in the hotel room.
Did the girl? Did you get?
Never
charged
seen
with-
her again.
With, no,
I
mean,
never
did
seen
you
her.
get fucked with like any hit with like prostitution charges?
No,
anything like
no,
that?
no. The only
Okay,
thing I
good,
got
good,
hit with
good.
was manufacturing and distribution
Okay,
of fentanyl, and so they wanted to bury me for that down here, like, you know, fucking fentanyl. I was selling the shit. I'm not
Yeah.
proud of it, but the lifestyle I grew up in was a drug dealing
That's
lifestyle.
just what you knew.
Yeah, it's what I knew. I was a hustler, you know. And so when I got busted for that, I was in gun club at first.
Oh, gun club, been there.
Yeah,
Quite a few times.
I was in gun club at first, fighting the case. And then they transferred me to Belgrade, and then when they finally came to me, because they wanted to give me 7 years, the mandatory minimum was 3.
And just one cap is 1 year.
Right.
One
So
cap,
you're talking
1 year.
about an 8-ball of fentanyl. So
Yeah.
I
Wow.
actually I paid off a lawyer, and I made out pretty well. I have to say, you know. I did 26 months.
Yeah.
And I did it all in county too,
Yeah.
down here. Like I didn't have to go to a like a gladiator camp or anything.
Up north of the Panhandle.
Well, yeah.
Because usually you go to gun club, they bring you to the Panhandle.
Right.
Yeah,
Anything,
you got very blessed.
anything you hear in a day. You know what I mean? But since I fought my case for so long, as soon as they gave me the pay, soon as it happened in court, and my lawyer came to me, he's like, dude, 22 months. He's like, you're gonna be out in 2 months.
Yo,
I was already 20 months in. So he's like, I'll be out in 2 months. I said, give me the motherfucking paper. Let me sign that shit before they change their mind. You know what I mean?
Your dad had to have had a hint, you know, been looking
You know what?
and
I've
protecting
talked about
you.
this before with people, and like every morning when I shower, I speak to my father.
Yeah.
You know, and I believe like I was talking about putting shit out in the universe. You know.
Yeah.
I believe me speaking to him, not only does it help me stay solid,
Yeah.
but I get answers from him throughout
Yeah.
life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like these little things happen in life that I get answers from him.
Yeah.
And
But the fact that how lucky you got, like your dad must have, he was in the works in that universe.
yeah, that and the amount of money I gave this fucking lawyer. You
Yeah.
know? But
Yeah, I know.
You know
but
what I mean?
I totally believe that he was.
Yeah, the
probably
universal
all
laws
around
of the
you.
universe are just like the mathematical laws. 2 plus
Yeah.
2 is 4.
Yeah.
Love plus love is love.
That's incredible.
What you get what you get.
so threes are big for me. You know, I love the number 3. I am the third.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, that because my dad was junior, so I am the third.
Okay.
I got a 3 tattooed on my arm here. You know.
Wow.
My mom's birthday's May 3rd. My birthday's January 3rd.
Wow.
Three's like a powerful number for
Significant.
me. Very significant. Yeah. You know, in my family, you call me Richi 3.
What?
So
You know.
Steering the conversation to a lighter point. I've heard your music,
Please do.
and you're kind of a big deal. I hate to tell you this, you're still kind of a big deal, brother. So, how did you hone your rap skills?
My writing skills and rapping. You know, God rest his soul. One of my best friends growing up, Paul. Me and him would just sit in his garage and just bump instrumentals. Kind of like how 50 Cent came through and just took everybody's instrumentals and made a CD with it. Like that's what we were doing. You know what I mean?
Lil Wayne too.
Yeah, and that's what we were doing. And I loved it. You know, I aside from putting it out there, like it was for me, it was therapeutic. You know, writing my thoughts down on paper was very therapeutic. And then my boy VJ he was VJ the DJ. He worked at Rutgers University radio, at Rutgers Radio. And he had me come on one night, and I was just going through my book, just spitting a bunch of shit. And that's when I got my first fan. And they called up and they're like, yo, you're fucking fire, blah, blah, blah. So it gave me like this boost of confidence. And then what ended up happening to me is I ended up getting bit by our dog. So the dog didn't really mean to bite. He tore my whole top lip off, like my whole top lip.
God.
My whole top lip was torn off, and I had plastic surgery. They took the skin from inside my cheeks to make my top lip.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they graft the inside to make my top lip.
You would never know, my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's mainly why I don't shave. Like, usually I have a goatee, so I kind of hide it, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that happened, and it took a while for me to get my speech back and stuff, you know, because like not my speech, but like being able to use my lips to talk again.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, you probably had to learn. It's only
But
learning.
oh yeah, of course. But I mean, like during that time, it was just writing. I was writing and writing and writing, and I had a stack of notebooks. And then Hurricane fucking Francis hit New Jersey.
Yeah.
And I lost a whole stack of notebooks that had like all this fire shit in it, you know? So I was so upset when I did that, and I was just like, you know what, fuck rapping, and I was like, you know, I just backed away from it for a little while. That was when I was about 19. And then my brother called me one day, and he's like, me and VJ want to bring you to this guy's house, this guy Garfield, who has produced shit for Mariah Carey, fucking Tina Turner, fucking like a bunch of like, you know, high-end celebrity music makers. And I went to this guy's house with VJ and my brother, and I fucking spit for him. I fucking had my notebook, and I was just jotting shit. Cause like a lot of times I'll jot something to begin with, and I'll have that beginning rhyme, and then I'll just go off the top of my dome.
Yeah.
And I'm
like
just
you
like,
did a few hours ago.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So like, so he really liked my shit. He's like, he called me the next day. He's like, listen, he's like, I'd love for you to come to the Wyclef concert with us. And And since I was an addict, I chose to use the drugs over possibly catching a major fucking deal in the rap industry. So you know that kind of hurt me as well. You know, I wish most times that I never had tried the drug in the first place. But I got shot in my right leg, and I ended up with osteo. And so what happened was, when I got shot, they put me on a bunch of painkillers, and even when I was healed up, I fucking pretended on crutches, and I went to this doctor. I had this doctor giving me 400 Roxys every 3 weeks, and 90 Dilaudid Shields. And I didn't need all that shit. I was doing heroin at the time, so I fucking would sell all the Roxys, you know, and sell all the Dilaudid, and that went on for about 3 years. I was living high on the hog, you know what I mean. I had a nice condo, everything was good, you know. Them pills really fucking paved the way for me as far as, you know, keeping me in a good spot to lay in and having a roof over my head. Having nice things, and that's when I got into reptile breeding. What? Reptile breeding?
What the
Yeah,
fuck?
I was breeding.
Wait,
So
what kind of reptile?
I was breeding green tree pythons.
Oh my god,
and
I'm
I
terrified of
also
snakes.
Me too.
and I also had
Me
I was breeding
Hey, how does snakes-
I was breeding albino boa constrictors, and then I had monitor lizards, just Savannah monitor lizards. I was breeding them too. I had Goliath. He was 4.5 feet. I used to have a leash on him, man, and I would bring him to like the festivals and shit, and just let him walk around. So that was pretty cool. And me and my buddy, we would rent tables at a place in Hamburg, Pennsylvania, Reptile Expo. And we would rent a table and we'd sell all our reptiles and shit, all of our like all the baby snakes and everything like that. We made good money doing that too, you know. Like I actually still today want to get back into it because, like, you know, I'm sober now, so like there's things that I can get back to my hobbies. You know what I mean? Like writing music and possibly still pursuing that. But to just like to set off the tone of sobriety, maybe. You know, it took me a long time. You know, I was banging dope with my daddy when I was, 12 years old.
Jeez.
You know, so I was really young. And plus, where I grew up, it was a dog eat dog place. You know, so like, you end up learning how to use your hands real quick. And then when I learned how to box, and I got my golden gloves, I did all this on heroin too, by the way. I wrestled in states 3 times, all on heroin. Played football, all on heroin, throughout high school.
What made you decide to want to get clean?
So it originally sparked in me when my father died, in 2010. That's when it really hit me that I need to do something. And then my mom had told me that one of my dad's last phrases was, "Please help Richie get clean." And that's always stuck with me. It's been hard. It's been a hard road. You know what I mean? It's been a real tough way of life. But thankfully now, in grace of God, after numerous overdoses, being dead, and being brought back to life, and and you kind of, I think I've reached a point where I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. You know, you hear that, you think it's like a cliche, but it's actually really true. Just I'm sick of the dope. I'm sick of having to fight my way to get money when I'm out there in active addiction. Boosting and all that shit, or selling drugs. I was always really good at selling drugs.
So from fighting to rapping, to selling drugs, to making snakes fuck for money, sounds like it's been a hell of a life. That was a joke.
Yeah, no, I got you. Yeah, but like, there's good times, you know. There was really good times in my life, you know. I gotta say.
Yeah.
That's our buddy. Don't
That's
worry
our buddy
about
Josh.
him.
It's fine.
Josh is just in a musical mood. But things weren't always bad. You know, like my grandfather spent a lot of time with us as kids. Both sides actually, my mom's side and my dad's side as kids growing up. Because my mom was in her party mode, you know, my dad was, you know, who he was. And so like we'd be handed off to our grandparents on each side, you know, every weekend. My grandparents on my mom's side had a lake house in Susquehanna, Pennsylvania, and I used to love going there as a kid because you know I'd be like a little mud rat, man. I was fucking.
Was it a rural area?
No, it was country, man.
Yeah.
It was country. You had to travel 2 miles or 2.5 miles to the store. This little store called Snyder's. And to get your food and everything. And when it would snow up there, it was like, holy shit, how's anybody getting to the store that's 3 miles away? You know what I mean? But it was really cool because like you know that's where I did like a lot of like river rat shit. You know what I mean? Like I did a lot of fishing and catching turtles and shit. And me and my brother would have big, huge fucking aluminum bins that fucking we'd set up with like fucking cool little areas, and we'd have baby turtles in it and shit. I remember my brother got bit by a water snake and he got sick and he started throwing up. And I remember my grandfather beating my ass because I told my brother to stick his hand in the net and fucking grab it, and the thing bit him. And my grandfather God rest his soul, my grandfather beat my ass at that time. But then on my dad's side, you know, when we would be with them, they were from Hazleton, Pennsylvania, and they would take us up to Hazleton with them for the weekend, and that's when I learned to drink shit like that, because like my grandfather was like a functioning alcoholic, you can say. You know, he kept up the house, he kept up the lawn while he was alive. He didn't. I believe honestly, if he didn't slow down and stop doing all the activities that he did, he probably would still be alive. You know, but unfortunately, he passed away, and you know, I have a lot of really good memories with him. He would take us in a Winnebago, and we would go to Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. And motherfucker, you never been to Rehoboth Beach? You got to go to Rehoboth Beach and get some vinegar fries. Oh
Vinegar
my god, vinegar fries,
Oh.
dog! A big bucket of vinegar fries, and then you just sit there and catch crabs all day, and then you go fucking toast crabs in a fucking boiling pot.
Nice.
And you fucking eating the crabs and fucking mowing down on some fucking vinegar fries. It was
That sounds so good.
it was just like that was so much fun when we would go, and like me and my brother were like little, we'd catch these toads and shit.
Aww.
And fucking keep them in buckets. Like that's no way for a toad to live.
Aw.
You know what I mean? But like that's what we did. You know, we
Yeah.
were like, who can catch the most toads tonight?
Yeah, that's so cool. Me and my
So-
sister did shit like that.
Yeah, so you know, shit like that was really cool, man. And then like you know, when my dad was alive, like fishing with my dad, I remember my dad was such a fucking, he was the son of a bitch, man, let me tell you. But I loved him to death. We would go to a cabin in upstate New York, right? And I remember one time we went to this cabin, and fucking at the cabin there's a little pond, right? And then behind the pond there's a big ass fucking hill, right? So he fucking made my brother and me and his wife at the time, her nephew Michael, made us race. He's like, whoever winner gets $5. Like fucking, I was 9 years old. I was like, fucking $5 is like
Yeah.
$1 million.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he says ready, set, go, and fucking we gotta swim through this pond, run up this mountain, run back down through the pond, and whoever got back to the fucking to the chairs and the table at the cabin first gets $5.
Sounds like he knew what he was doing.
Yeah, well listen, this is what, no, fuck him. Fuck you, Dad. I love you, but fuck you. Because I fucking won that race, and that motherfucker, there was no $5. He just wanted to have the laughs of us running through there. But whatever, we still had fun, you know what I mean? So memories, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, good memories with my dad, man. Like, cranking on motorcycles and like fucking fishing. I loved fishing with my dad. Because he really enjoyed it, especially when he had cancer and he was dying. I brought him fishing a lot.
Yeah.
And there was a time, because I was staying at my grandparents' house because I was helping. My father was staying at my grandparents' house, and I was helping because he was on hospice.
Yeah. My
And
dad
I
was on hospice too.
Yeah, and it sucks, man. You know, but I made sure I brought my father to do whatever he wanted to do, and a lot of times it was fishing. And I remember it was like 5:30 in the morning, and I get a knock on my bedroom door, and I'm like, what the fuck? It's 5:30 in the morning, so I knew I automatically thought there's something going on with my dad, you know. So I fucking
Who the fuck is this?
I fucking
You. That's your food.
okay.
Not me.
Sorry.
Sorry.
I'm just reminding her that that's her plate.
It's not my plate. I didn't finish mine. No, but thank you. Sorry, Robert.
It's okay.
Anyways.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Didn't mean to interrupt.
So
Sorry, apologize for the people that run walking in front of the camera. It's all good.
It's okay. It's okay.
What happened?
Nothing.
So do you have any kids?
I do. I got a son, Gavin.
Oh, that's a beautiful name.
He's going to, he's a beautiful kid, man. He didn't turn out like me, and I'm really happy for that.
How old is he?
He's 20 years old now.
Wow.
Yeah. I
Does
don't
he
look
look
like
like you?
Yeah, he looks
Yeah?
like me. Yeah, he looks like me. Yeah, for sure. He's a lady killer. He's got the blue eyes like I do. And, you know, fucking.
How old were you?
He's
when you
out
had
there.
him?
He's how old? What?
Wait, how old were you when you had him?
I was 17, 18.
Wow, okay.
I think. No, I was 20. I was 20. I was 20 when I had him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was 20 when I had him. I'm 43 now, so yeah, I was 20 when I had him. So he's a little lady killer, man. He's got a girlfriend. He's got his own dog.
Where does he live?
Right now he's living in Jersey with his mom. But he's come down here before, and he stays in Cape Coral.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he's got a buddy
Yeah.
that lives in Cape Coral, so he'll
Wow.
come down here and visit. And he's going to school studying criminal justice.
Shut up. Yo,
Coming from the
that's
family,
So cool.
yeah, coming from the family, like it's like Departed type shit. Like that's what I think of, like when I think
Oh
of
my
my
God.
son. When I think of my son
Yeah.
going to school for criminal justice
Yeah.
and like, you know, possibly fucking, you know, turning into, you know, somebody who can arrest his father. I mean, you know, it is what it is, but I'm happy for him, you know.
Never like dabbled in drugs or
No,
anything
no.
like that.
I remember like I would get beer for him and his buddies when he was like 15, 16.
Yeah.
And I would give it to my sister, and my sister would give it to him, and you know, so like I didn't want him to know that it was
Yeah.
coming from me.
Yeah.
Like my sister could take the blame for that. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
But like he was like a normal kid, you know,
Yeah.
like fucking growing up, 16
Yeah.
years old. I'm jumping off the fucking bridges into the water. I'm fucking,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Do you guys have a close relationship?
We do. We do have a close relationship, and it's pretty recent. Because you know he was mad at me for quite a while because I fell so deep into the drug use.
Yeah.
You know, and he just didn't want to accept that, and I don't blame him. You know, I don't blame him at all. You know, all I
Did you
can.
have to make an amends and things like that?
Yeah, of course, and I thought it was gonna be a tough thing to do. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But it wasn't. You know, it wasn't because like I am who I am.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I did what I did. And I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But as long as I do better, and it's a course of action. You You know, it comes down to action, not words.
Yeah.
You know, so like I put myself in a place where I'm putting the next step forward in my recovery.
So you just wanted to see it, you didn't want to hear it.
Yeah, exactly. You know,
And you did
so
that.
yeah,
That's great.
exactly. So like, I didn't have too many issues with him, and I'm just glad that he took the path that he took.
Yeah, that's incredible.
You know what I mean?
I'm sure you feel relieved as a father.
Yeah,
Yeah.
big time.
That's a blessing.
Me and his mom don't get along, you know.
No?
No, we don't get along because of the lifestyle that I've lived, you know,
Do you
and that's
think
fine.
that can be repaired?
No, I care less. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whatever, it is what it is.
Bygones
You know?
be bygones.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you know, I just recently lost a baby with my girlfriend, well, my ex-girlfriend now, because I had to cut her off. She was absolutely fucking maniac. Amy Dunbar, if you fucking ever see this fucking, you're a fucking psycho. You know what I mean? You're a psycho. But we lost the baby. We lost the baby because I found out she was fucking drinking while she was pregnant. And she would tell me shit like fucking. She'd be like, "I'll fucking kill this baby," blah blah blah. You know, she would get into an argument and she'd tell me she'd kill the baby, blah blah blah. Like, so fuck you, Amy Dunbar.
Fuck you, Amy Dunbar.
Fucking
Yeah,
Dunbar.
fuck you, Amy Dunbar.
Yeah,
Fuck you.
Dunbar. What a fucking gay ass last name. Well, I'm Amy Dunbar. Fucking, it sounds like a fucking special ed name. Fuck out of here with all that bullshit.
God.
But God works how God works, and I lost the baby. I say I lost the baby. She didn't lose shit because she never cared about it to begin with. I don't think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that I was clean, and then losing the baby fucking really fucking fucked me up, and I went back to using. Actually, I went back to using the night that the baby we found out. The night the baby died. When that happened, I relapsed.
Well, I'm sure. Oh my God.
And the fucked up thing is, she was here in Florida, and I was in Nashville on a job. And I got the phone call from the people at the hospital, and they told me. And that night I found dope in Nashville, fucking overdosed, fucking.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you went in, it went in.
When I make my mind up and I'm gonna do drugs, listen, motherfucker, I'm doing drugs, okay?
Yeah.
I ain't fucking playing around. I'm not fucking this little fucking, let me do a little bit here so I can see. No, fuck that. If I die, I die.
Did you do heroin or did you do fentanyl?
I did fentanyl.
Yeah.
Because like a lot of the times you can't even find heroin anymore.
Yeah.
Listen, if I found a good brown shit that smells like vinegar, I'd probably still on it. I don't know.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? But like,
Would you say your mind's made up now?
my mind's definitely made up now that I don't want to use anymore.
Yeah, that's very obvious. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
like
feel like you
it's.
can help a lot of people.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah, and like I have offers now of like working in treatment, and you know, and that's a good feeling too when people at a treatment center are asking you if you want to, you know, give 6 months, you know, I want you to come work here. It feels really good. It's just all around the all-around spectrum of getting clean and sober is a whole lot better than not, because you fuck people over and you fucking do whatever when you're a heroin or a fentanyl addict, you do whatever you got to do to get your drug. You're not going to be going through being sick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm punching a cop in his face and getting arrested on purpose
Yeah.
because they'll bring me to the hospital
Yeah.
and fucking Baker Act me and they'll put me on shit.
My sponsor used to say, like, Hannah, come over, come to this side, like it's safe over here.
Right? Like, it's
What
the
are
light,
you
it's the
doing?
light, stay out of the dark.
Yeah, like come back over, and like just like there's no fence, there's no wall, like you just walk back over here, and
it's
kinda
just a decision.
Yeah, and that's like what you were saying the other day downstairs, and you definitely have walked to the safe side, and the way you carry yourself, and you keep your head high, like you can tell like you want to be on this side.
Yeah, I definitely do. I definitely made my mind up on that, especially after losing a baby and everything like that.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to fucking just when something bad happens in my life, I don't want to fucking resort to the drugs anymore. It's just not conducive for anybody in my family, for myself. It's not good. It never is. And it just brings me to an institution. Jails, institutions, death. Fuck that.
Yeah.
The fourth one is fuck that.
What's commendable is that what I've seen is you're on some actual alpha shit.
Yeah.
Which is like, helping the smaller monkeys.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Also,
Well, you know
too,
what?
is my favorite thing about you is how you keep others accountable around you when you see someone doing something that's inappropriate or wrong. I mean, even if it's just like kind of like the pants sagging thing, you're like, pull your fucking pants up. Like, like that is some real man shit. You're on real man shit.
Nobody wants to see somebody's ass. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, just like you can tell like that you flipped that switch.
Yeah, I had to.
Yeah.
I had to flip that switch, and when you flip that switch, the light comes on, right?
Yeah.
So you're in the light.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of trying to walk in the light and stay out of the darkness.
That's why I said to you, like, you should work in this field, or you should work in the field of rehabilitation.
Somewhere,
Look at how,
some kind of a thing like that I want to do.
Like you have so much willpower in you that like you can pull yourself out of anything. Like you don't even need a lending hand.
Right,
like,
right.
You definitely, absolutely.
If I use all the knowledge and everything that I've gained from being an addict, and I turn that around and stay clean and use it for better, then there's no stopping me on anything that I want to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As addicts, we're the smartest people in the world.
Your potential is just like out of this world.
So.
It really is.
So, all right, yeah. So you know what? That's fine. This is the first one. Fucking
We're definitely
Trazzle
gonna have to
dazzle.
come back for a part 2.
We'll have a part 2. These guys like to ask their curious questions. So there'll be a part 2 to this. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it, man. And thank you very much
for being a part of this.
And until next time.
Yeah.
And the
Fuck
gavel.
fuck you, Amy Dunbar.
Fuck you, Amy Dunbar.
Fuck you, Amy Dunbar.
Straight from Quillville, this has been the second edition of the Trazzle Dazzle
Peace out.
Podcast.
Doses.